OJ Simpson said he's still looking for the suspect, y'all. He gonna find a person that killed Nicole Brown Simpson and Ron Goldman. He said that person is still out there. He said that he has trouble with Los Angeles, like going there, because, he thinks he may be sitting next to the actual real killer. You know what I mean? He's afraid to go there because the real killer is still out on the loose, because it certainly wasn't him. He said, I figured eventually somebody would confess to something, I had, one suspect I told my lawyers to look into, but I think he still may be involved, but can't talk about it, meaning his lawyer is still involved in trying to get to the bottom of the story. What are your thoughts on OJ Simpson maintaining his innocence? And does anyone believe that he may have not done it?
OJ needs a psychiatrist. I think he has mental illness. He has been through a lot, dear God, and I just think that he needs a sit down with a shrink. That poor thing has lost his mind because he cannot move on. He is stuck in trauma. He cannot move on. This is after all that he's been through. You still trying to find the killer. I don't understand what you didn't get your trophy stolen. You went back and stole it back. Like, hell, you didn't been through a lot. You gotta sit down somewhere. Like I think it's just mental illness, and someone needs to see about that.
I just can't imagine how that can be. It consumed his life and took over every great thing that he was, because now we know him to be not running through the airport. Remember that commercial he had was running through the airport? Hurts, right. We knew him for that, knew him for football and Heisman. And now this dark cloud of the murder has taken over everything. You don't even hear about his kids anymore, because I remember, wasn't his daughter a stylist at the time?
Yes, Arnell. Yeah. And Jason was a chef. Yeah.
So I don't think now that he has any claim to fame. And so when anybody asks him about anything, this is the most important thing that they want to talk about. So they use that, and he's using it too. But I think you're absolutely right, Celine. I think that, you've done your time and you paid your attorneys and whomever is out there still. Now you got to pass. You're back. You're home. So you need to utilize the rest of that time to the best of your ability to achieve whatever else that you can in life on the positive side.
Yeah, I think OJ might be the first football player. I think, the whole CTE thing with the concussions, we didn't really talk about it until a few years ago. He may be one of the first ones that experienced it, and we never really died. He's not been diagnosed. I just feel like, although he was acquitted, and I know some Black people going to be mad at me because we like to assume all of our heroes are innocent and that it's the white man's fault for all these things. A lot of times we are railroaded, but I'm sorry. This is one case I absolutely think he did it. And I feel like he keeps bringing attention to it by making these ridiculous statements. And you brought this on yourself when you wrote that stupid ass book, If I Did It. If I'm accused of cheating on my boyfriend, right? I'm not going to draw attention to it if I did and be like, well, if I did it, and then do a whole dissertation on it.
But it's the only way that he can get attention. And financially, it really is. I mean, it's like that one note that he didn't play that works for him. And so, he said a couple of things that lately everybody was just like, dude, really, and you didn't mind because he was commenting about other things. But this thing with Nicole that he continues to do, it's like it's on the cusp of insanity, but it's what works for him, y'all. So he gonna ride that bad boy till the wheels fall off. He gonna be on his bed talking about Nicole, like, come on, OJ. Right.
It's low key mean too. Like, it's allow her family to rest. Yeah. Like, if I'm the family, I've been and found him somewhere outside with a pop.
Catch me outside. How about that?
I've been and caught him outside with a pillowcase with pop hands. Yeah. And got busy with it. Because it's like almost like he keeps rubbing it. It's like a low key rubbing. Like, sit down somewhere. Like, I don't understand. I'm with you, Vivica. This narcissism, it's narcissism and schizophrenia. I'm not a doctor, but that's what it looked like. Like you just lost your whole mind.
He's gaslighting the family. Like, he's gaslighting all of them. Yeah. Like, all of them. He's collectively, like, he's gaslighting the world. And if there's a sliver of chance that he didn't do it, because, everybody has their theories. Oh, it's the son. I'm sorry. No one's taking a murder charge, like committing a murder for someone.
Double murder.
Double murder.
If he didn't do it, I know who did.
That was a crime of passion, and you just happen to get a cut on the same hand.
Right. It was a whole lot of coinky dinks. Because I'm gonna tell you, I used to watch that every day, and I was like, at first, you went in like, oh, good. When you heard that he was on the plane and wasn't there, because you saw the crime scene and it was just and then you're like, oh, good, he wasn't there. But then he walked out, and it was like, oh, here we go. There was the cut, the walk, the thing, and then it was just, the dots kept getting connected. And so, no one's a fool, but, it was the first time that you had a trial that it was about racism a little bit, crime of passion. I mean, it made excellent TV. People were riveted by this case. And I hate that that's now what his legacy is tarnished with.
His narrative.
The problem.
Yeah, go ahead, Claudia.
I was gonna say the problem is the LAPD is so racist and so horrible that they put 10 on 20 when they didn't have to. And so two things are true at the same time.
But Johnny Cochran was so smooth with it. Man. I mean, that he made you, he came up with the catchphrase, if it don't fit, you gotta quit. And he knew how to talk to that jury. See, that's what they weren't counting. They had so much evidence. But what they didn't realize is the absolute genius of Johnny Cochran, how he broke that down and talked to those women as sisters, like, look at them trying to take away y'all hero. And it worked.
And low key, OJ ain't messed with black people since he came out of one.
Girl, he did go to, I'm gonna tell you though, when he first went out, he went to the little M&M restaurant on Crenshaw. And everybody's like, now, OJ, we ain't seen you at M&M's. What you know about M&M's?
You've been at Starbucks and
Brentwood.
Melting your hand and in your mouth. No.
He's trying to get people to see him. But ain't Karma something? Because I tell you what, if you ain't do it, Karma kicked his ass.
All the way.
His ass was whooped. Ever since they said you didn't do it, he been getting drugged. Like his life has been terrible.
He can't even get a white girl anymore.
That's deep.
Anyways,